Hey guys, welcome back to Jill's Notebook. Another page from my notebook, okay? So now, today is going to be a day of discovery, okay? Well, I've discovered it, however. All right, so you guys remember when I told y'all that I thought that I was going to, well, let me back it up a little bit. For those who have been watching my journey thus far, okay, I've spoken about in the past where I thought I was going to have like all this money saved up so I can move, so I can easily transition into the next phase of my life, right? So God told me, oh no, honey, you're not doing it like that. You are going to trust me, and I am going to send destiny helpers to you, okay? So I was like, I'm not used to that, y'all, because like I said, I'm used to having all my T's crossed and all my I's dotted, right? All right, so now, this particular time, I was still in Philadelphia, okay? So now, when I would transitioning from Philadelphia to Houston, I took this, I didn't like put the whole journey on my GPS at one time. I would go like state to state, and then I would, do it like as I got to one state, then when I would be ready to drive again, I would do another state like that, okay, on my GPS. So now, because too much was too much for me, honey. I was very overwhelmed. I was scared to drive and all of that. Only God could push me, honey. And I had my 1-year-old grandson with me, okay? All right, so now, it took me 1 week and a half to get to Houston from Philadelphia. Typically, if you're driving by yourself, it should take about 4 days. Not me, boo. Not me. So now, ciao. All right. So when I left Philadelphia, okay, my first stop was in Hampton, Virginia. Okay. Hampton, Virginia. All right. So now, when I got to Hampton, Virginia, I slept, and I had saw a friend of mine in Hampton. Shout out to Damo. We had got into a little dispute or whatever because, I don't know, he was just showing his tail off around that time. We ain't gonna get into that though. So I spent the night in Hampton, and then I continued on with our journey, me and Isaiah, and our next stop was in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, North Carolina. Okay, so now, I got little videos too, y'all, because I took, videos of my grandson, and we were chilling and things like that. So, you could check out my other little channels like TikTok. I'm going to post one on there, and Instagram, okay? So you could see what I'm talking about. All right, so now, when we were, okay, so I was on Route 59 for most of the time. Route 59, right? And that's like the back roads, okay? Because I wanted to be close to like be able to veer off to the road whenever I wanted to, off of the road whenever I wanted to, because I had my grandson, I got to change diapers and things like that, right? Got to feed him, got to go to the bathroom myself. So I just wanted to make sure that we were close to off of a road where I wasn't on that highway, like I-95, I-10 in Texas is like I-95 in Philadelphia. I wasn't on those roads, okay? So I took the back roads. So the back roads, most of the time, was 59, okay? All right, so now I'm driving down 59, and I see like my GPS started talking to me. First time it ever happened. Not with the regular talking, because I had it like on silent, because I don't want to constantly hear GPS talking, because I be listening to my music and stuff, right? So now, it says rerouting due to oncoming traffic. And I was like, what? I never heard this a day in my life on my GPS, right? So I was like, all right, because normally I would ignore stuff and continue to drive the way that I know that I'm going. But honey, I did not know how I was going, where I was going. And I just knew that I wanted to go. And I had to go as much as I could because I did not drive at night. Can't see. If I know the roads, then I can drive. But if I don't know the roads, I'm not driving at night because I can't see at night, okay? So now, all right. So I was on 59. So the GPS redirected me to Route 48. I remember this like it was yesterday, okay? So now on Route 48, it was kind of like one of these type of roads. Like you did a whole lot of turns and curves and stuff. Almost kind of like you was going down a mountain or something, but I ain't seen no mountain, because if I would have saw a mountain, I would have been scared to death. All right, so going down. So I did that for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, at the most 2 hours, okay? All right, so now Isaiah was asleep. Thank God. So when I get down to the end of the road, every time you get off of those, like back ways, highways, or whatever, you come across the area where you see all the stores at, right? So now I see like all these stores, and I come to a light. All right. I stop at the red light. When the light turns green, my car wouldn't start. It wouldn't like push, okay? It wouldn't accelerate. Then it gave me, so I pushed it again. I was like, Lord, please. However, I wasn't like really, really scared, because God had already warned me that he had me. He was going to be with me. He was there the whole time. Literally, I had to keep telling myself this, like, God is with me. God is with me. He ain't going to let nothing happen to me. Okay. He gave me this car for free. He ain't going to let nothing happen to me. All right. So now, I gave the acceleration one more, and then it jerked me like this, and then it gave me a little push, right? Only enough to get to a parking spot quick. So I started scouting, looking at the stores. I was like, okay, that's the McDonald's. Okay, that's a Big Lot, boom. So I drove up in the Big Lot. I turned in a Big Lot parking lot. So it was a McDonald's directly across the street. So I was like, cool. Because I was trying to think of, like, I didn't want to have to walk my grandson very far. We did not have a stroller, but we did have his car seat. Okay. So now, couldn't fit the stroller in my car. So I was like, all right, we'll be good right here. So now I called AAA. I did notice that my battery light was on. Okay. It had came on the day prior. Now, mind y'all, I thought it was the battery. Hello, but I learned that day. I learned that day. So when AAA came out, they told me that it was my alternator. Lord have mercy. I was like, I do not have no money in my budget for that. Don't even know how much it costs. But Lord, I knew I didn't have no money for it. All right, so he told me it was no stores open. It was a Friday when we were there. He told me it wasn't going to be any stores open until Monday morning to fix my car in North Carolina. I can't remember what part it was, but it was a part I had no recollection of, okay? So I said, okay, all right. So me and Isaiah, we slept in the car during the night, and we was hanging out in the McDonald's during the day. Friday night, and it was early Friday. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Child, I'm like, I don't even know. I ain't tell very many people that I was stuck, okay? I told my sister, shout out to Jen. I told my daughter, Jada, because she didn't come with me. Shout out to Jay. And I told my son, Mel. Shout out to Mel. He in the other room, y'all. So, now, Melvin told me this. He said, Mom, don't worry. God is going to have your car fixed by Monday. Watch. I said, I believe it. I don't know how, but what else do I have? Belief. Proverbs chapter 3, 5 through 6, King James Version says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Okay? This reminds us that when we trust God completely, even on unfamiliar roads, he will guide us even if the path looks different from what we expected. Period. So that's all I had was God, right? Right. Okay, now, let me tell y'all. Every connection that Isaiah and I came across, because he was like the center of attention with his little cute self, okay? So people always would talk to me and, oh, he's so cute. And now, we definitely was looking the part, okay? Because I would wash, I had like a collapsible, like dish bin. And I kept water, like gallons of water in my trunk at all times, right? So I would, it was hot outside too. So I would pour the water in, and I would give Isaiah like a bed bath every day, wash his whole body down, his hair, everything. And he had on fresh clothes, okay? So, and myself included, okay? All right. So now, I would make sure that we always look the part, because you just never know. We ain't want to look dirty and stinky and all that. So we would sleep in the car, okay? I had the little visor, the shade thing where you can put, my windows were tinted. However, in the front of the window, I would put the little shade up there so you couldn't see through my car, okay? All right, so now, McDonald's, I had that app, you know what I'm saying? We was hungry. I was hungry. Isaiah don't eat McDonald's. He'll eat some of the French fries, but I had to feed him what he ate, like, I think at the time he was still eating he was eating food, but like, I think he was eating baby food too. I can't remember that part. All right. So now, okay. Y'all, this was crazy. Okay. Imagine you are stuck, don't have no idea how you're going to get out this situation, in a town you don't know nobody, people can prospect you and all of that. And I'm like, Lord, please help me, okay? But I kept calm. I remained calm, and I remained in prayer. I would read my Bible. So we would take all our the electronics, my laptop, we'd take it over to McDonald's, and we'd chill for the day, okay? They'd be giving Isaiah free French fries and stuff like that. He wasn't eating them like that. He went, I want French fry. I want French fry. Mama, I want French fry. He was one, okay? One. All right. So now, I want to say, so now I'm a head on, because you can't hear everything. I can't tell you everything. I got to tell you in Increments. So now, I want to say Sunday night, Sunday night, my sister would call and check on me, and she'd be like, sis, I'm just checking on you. If I had the money, I would give it to you. I would. I said, I know, sis, I ain't expecting you to do that. You know what I mean? So on Monday morning, my sister calls me and said, Mom said, call her. Now, around this time, me and my mom, shout out to Mom, we weren't like on like real good speaking terms, so to speak, right? Okay. So, heck no, I was not calling my mother to ask her for no money, okay? I think God knew that too, all right? So, my heart wasn't hard. I just wasn't going to do that, okay? All right. So, now, I called my mom. I said, hey, Mom, how you doing? She said, hey, Jill. So she asked me what was going on. I told her I was stuck. I needed an alternator. And the place wasn't open till Monday, which was that day. And I told her I would call and see how much it costs. And me and Isaiah was stuck in North Carolina. And we were on our way to Texas. All right. So I got the estimate, called my mom back. Child, let me tell y'all something. God is so good. Okay? He is so good. He is so good. All right? I had no idea that the destiny helper that was supposed to help me was the least person I suspected. And that was my mom. Okay? She said, Jill, you know, I usually, because my mom don't be getting no taxes. She works for the Internal Revenue, for those who don't know. But everybody who knows me knows my mom worked for the Internal Revenue. She's been working for them for 30-something years. She's like a tax analyst. She writes tax laws. She's a supervisor. Like, she's up there. And, like, she's like, she don't get no money. She don't get no taxes, okay? So now, she said, for some odd reason this year, I received some money for taxes, like a tax refund. She said, now I know why. So I can give it to you, so I can bless you with it. I said, wow. I started to cry. I'm like, dang, that's my mom. Good looking. So she was like, where y'all been sleeping at? I said, Mom, we sleeping in my car. She was like, your car? People don't get it. I love that life, but I ain't want that life for my grandson. But it's a great experience. It's like, teach you how to survive. It really does. People be, like doing nomad life and saving lots of money and things like that. And I mean, that's all I had. You know what I mean? That's all I had was God. He gave me this car for free, and he wanted me to utilize it, right? Okay. So my mom ended up giving me $750. She cash-apped it. My car cost like $450. $450. And nothing but the grace of God. Nothing but the grace of God. You hear me? Because I ain't have it. You feel me? I did not have it. Isaiah 55, 8-9, King James Version says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Okay? And this truly implies that God is rerouting you. God rerouting you may not have made sense in the moment, but it did make sense, because I was hit. I was like, okay, this must be a call from God. You know what I mean? Because I had never heard it before. But his higher plan was already protecting me from unseen danger. I did not know that it was danger ahead. It just said traffic, right? Had I known, I wasn't even paying attention to that little battery sign. And the AAA guy told me, when you see the battery sign come on your dashboard, that means it's the alternator. That's what that means. So I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Had I known, child, it was supposed to happen how it was supposed to happen. Me and Isaiah did not leave North Carolina until Tuesday morning. You understand me? And then we was on with the races to the next stop. Okay? And every time I would get to another state, I think the next state was like, don't start me the line, but I think it was Alabama, y'all. And then I would go to Walmart, because they cater to travelers, and we would stay there so we wouldn't be harassed in Pickwood and things like that. And me and my grandson, we rode this thing on. Now, you hear what I'm saying? Like, we was in there, and like God had us. He was in front of us. He was already there where we were going. He was in front of us. He was on the side of us, and he was in the back. He had them angels. What? Are you serious? Yes, I'm so serious. Okay, y'all? And I'm going to leave y'all with this scripture. Romans 8:28, King James Version says, and we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Even the car breaking down served a purpose, y'all. Because I was supposed to learn from this. And like I told y'all, everybody that came across to me and Isaiah, it was a homeless Caucasian girl out there. It was a black guy that was trying to holler at me that were frequent every day that we was there. And it was like a little community at the McDonald's for the weekend. I'm telling you. And I'm sure God had me communicating to these people for a reason. And the communication had nothing to do with but God. But God. That lady ended up falling in love with Isaiah. She called, checked on him and everything with my phone. Yes. After we left. Oh, it was such an amazing experience. You hear me? So, even the car breaking down served a purpose. It wasn't a setback. It was God setting things up for my good. Okay? Because I love him. And before I said, look, God, I trust you. Because normally I wouldn't go nowhere without a whole lot of money. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go nowhere without that. But I really, really trusted that God had me. You hear me? If I would have never diverted from off of 59 on a 48, I could have been in all kinds of accidents could have happened to me if I would have continued down 59. You know what I'm saying? I said, I don't know why God's doing this, but let me just go. Put me in a comfortable spot where he knew I would be safe, where he knew we could get food. We would go over to the Big Lots. We'd go over to the McDonald's. We was chilling. On Tuesday, I was actually crying because that was an amazing experience. Taught me really how to survive with my 1-year-old grandson. If God can do it, no one else can. Only God. He helped me, y'all. He helped me. He helped me. So, listen, y'all. Y'all want to tune into some more of my testimonies? Please comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me, have you ever been stuck in a situation and you had nobody to trust but God? And it seemed like God took everybody out the way so you couldn't call them and ask for help because you knew you had to trust on him? Now, if I probably would have took it in my own hands and called my mom and asked her, she probably would have been like, nope, I don't got it. I don't got it. But because I let God navigate how he wanted me to do, my mom had me. You know what I mean? My mom didn't know all of the logistics, but God did. You feel me? He did. And thank you for my sister, because if it wasn't for her telling my mom, she would have never known and I would have never received the help. So God will direct you who to give information to. And God will tell you to be silent and quiet when he don't want you to tell everything. Okay? So just trust in him, y'all. Remember, lean not into your own understanding. He gonna direct you. Please, subscribe to me so we can be a family. Thank y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful and happy Monday. All right? Listen, trust and believe I'm going to have some stories ahead to tell you about things that's going on with me right now. But I'm silent right now. Don't have my car. Don't have my car. But God did send me a destiny helper for that, and that's my son. Okay? Bye, guys. See you in my next video.